What is up everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Miles Rowe and in today's video we'll be diving in Black Ops 6 and see precisely how this game has performed, how does it look like, and if it's worth or not looking at playing it. So before we actually will be starting, I want to mention that there will be a few spoilers, so if you're mentioning to just keep this kind of quiet and you want to play the game from the beginning, I would suggest to probably skip this video because there will be a few things that we'll be sharing in advance with you guys. Now, on the other hand as well, we'll be sectioning this video in 3 stages and I will be trying my best to keep all these summaries within 10 minutes. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into the first part of this video, and that is the campaign. The game itself was under development for the past 4 years, with the last 8 months being an absolute forefront of the marketing team. Now the marketing, I have to say, was absolutely stunning, and with the replacer taking over all the social media channels was quite a treat. Now one of the things that obviously I'm sure everyone was thinking of, was this another marketing stunt? Well, let's have a look at what the campaign looked like and how have they managed to pull this off. Given that the past 4 years or dare I say 5 years of the campaign missions have not been necessarily the most satisfying for most of us, I have to say the Black Ops 6 campaign was actually spot on. One of the things that I personally liked the most was how action-packed everything is, and it generally felt like an old Call of Duty game where the plot twist and kind of the action of the game were floating you around chapter to chapter. Now one of the things as well which the guys have blended really well was adding zombies to this particular campaign, which we'll get back to in a couple of minutes, but this was something that for sure has made this experience complete. Even though the campaign itself doesn't last longer than 8 hours depending on your game style, I have to say it was quite enjoyable. I would have loved it to be a bit longer, but even within these 8 hours was quite condensed, and it was also really, as mentioned, action packed. So also one of the things that probably didn't sit particularly well with this particular campaign was the free roam mission. Even though I have to say it was quite rewarding when you'd be able to finish some of the missions and get some of the reward streaks to use later on down the line. The fact that you are able to make these decisions which will impact your game later on are quite cool, and they're not necessarily forced in the sense of having a scenario A or scenario B. Everything is blended quite well, and either the decisions you make, the ending is the same. So I think this is quite cool, and the fact that the guys have made this a fantastic cinematic experience, it definitely puts the game, for me at least, for this year on top of the ones that I personally liked playing. Now, of course, 2024 was full of fantastic games, but from a first person point of view, Black Ops 6 was definitely one of the games that I have enjoyed playing in the campaign mode. And it was something that I wasn't expecting, at least from the franchise, given the past years. Mentioning earlier, zombies had made an appearance in the campaign mission, and I have to say I was not expecting to have a full mission with kind of zombie references or a dedicated zombie mission for our delight. Of course, if you're a zombies fan, you will find this an absolute treat, but if you are not a zombie fan, you might find that this mission was a bit forced and just added there, to please another group of people. But with that being said, if you are a zombies fan, you enjoy this mission to the max. You will have 4 key cards that you have to collect in order to progress the mission, and those 4 key cards will make you defeat some HVTs. It's really cool how they've made the appearance of zombies, how they've added this to the mission, and very classic Black Ops way, it's all part of a bigger plot. So it's quite cool, and I have to say, as mentioned, I was not expecting it. And given the past campaigns in the past few years, it was really well rounded and all been put together. Now, the last thing I want to speak about are the graphics and the motions. So obviously with the Omni movement being a new thing added to the Call of Duty franchise, this was definitely quite noticeable when you were playing the game. But I have to say, once you get used to it, it's actually quite cool. And even though I tried it in the beta version and I wasn't very sure how this works, I did experience it to the max into the full game. Now, regarding the graphics, even though people were referring to Black Ops 6 as a version of Cold War, I have to say, even though it might be on the same engine, the game it's a lot more polished and it feels and looks a lot better. Now, for me personally, playing on PS5, the game was absolutely flawless, didn't have any bugs, didn't have any issues, I didn't have any crashes either, which made the experience quite enjoyable, even though people were saying otherwise. And going back to the graphics section, for me personally, I felt it was a huge cinematic experience, given that everything was well kind of optimized, and with the ray tracing graphics, it looked absolutely stunning. Specifically, one of the missions I felt it was really cinematic was the mission where you'd chase someone within a market, and that felt like a movie from John Wick. So this is pretty much regarding the campaign. In my opinion, was super worth it. It's definitely something for us fans to enjoy, and definitely something to praise the developers about, because I can generally see that they have put some work into it, and this had definitely paid off. Right, so 4 minutes left of this video and 2 more topics to go. The first one is the multiplayer experience. Now, even though I was expecting something else from the multiplayer experience, 2 of the things that definitely stood out are the skill-based matchmaking, which is absolutely horrible, and I have to say it's making the experience quite horrible for many of us. However, I hope this is something that they will be fixing. And the other issue is how you're being respawned after you die. In some instances, you'll find, especially if you play team deathmatch, that you'll be respawned literally in front of your enemy, which is making this really poor. Now, some things to look forward to. On the 1st of November, we will have Nuketown, so I do hope with this we'll see also respawn patch, which was gonna make this probably better. But otherwise, the multiplayer experience, I think it's fairly average. The Omni movement is definitely making it a change, and is making it less enjoyable for others, more enjoyable for other players. In my case, I enjoyed it. I think it's quite cool, and also with the graphics and the audios of the weapons and footsteps, I think are definitely better than the previous games. And in ending, guys, to finish with a positive, the other game mode that we have are zombies, and for me zombies are definitely a huge win as well. Other than the campaign, which I really enjoyed, zombies are the second game mode that I really enjoy as well. Now, we have gone back to the round-based zombie matches, which is definitely a shout from the community, which the developers have taken note of. It is a bit of a twist. It's not the classic round-based zombies that we were all kind of used with. It does have different changes to it, but as always, it's packed of Easter eggs, it's packed of missions, and pretty much we got 2 maps which we can play from. One of them is called Terminus, and then the other one is called Liberty Falls. Now, both of these 2 maps have different Easter eggs, different missions, but they're really cool, really enjoyable, and you can play them both solo or with a team. The other nice thing that they have added onto the zombies, you have the option of resuming a game or saving a progress and playing it afterwards, which, you know, for people which are playing this game casually, this is quite good, because if you have ranked up quite a lot and you have finished a few waves, you want to take a break, or you know, you want to carry on the next day, you can easily do that. As mentioned, this is only available on solo plays, so just bear in mind. But again, it's a nice touch, and it's definitely something that I think people were not expecting with the launch of the game. So with that being said, guys, this is it for today. I do hope you got a bit of a sense of the game. Overall, in my opinion, the 2 main game modes that you have to try are zombies and the campaign. Multiplayer, probably something that we'll be seeing some improvements later on. So overall, in my opinion, the game is definitely worth it. It's gorgeous as far as the campaign and the zombies mode go, and I think it's definitely something that people were expecting to see as an improvement. Obviously, you know, it's down to you. I'm not saying that you should jump straight head first to buy the game. I was expecting it. I was a bit disappointed that we couldn't have an early release trial as it happened in the past, but you know, all good when the game was launched. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do have other thoughts about the game, please do leave them down in the comment section down below. And as always guys, looking forward to seeing you in the next video soon.